Sometimes, people say, don't bring up the past. But the past is what you want to reflect on in order to get to know yourself, get to know the community, get to know the people so that you can have a better understanding of where you're going. People migrated to Gadsden for the steel mills and the sawmills. People were able to work and feed their families. My name is Shari Bostic, and I am the Executive Director of Grace Heritage Community Development. Our purpose is to protect, preserve, and catalog all the graves that are in 6th Street Cemetery for future reference, and to also have all of that information placed in the Grace Heritage African American Museum so that people can use it as a reference, as a place to come to find out more about their family that's buried there, as well as the families of all the population of Gadsden and Etowah County. I wanted to be a lawyer, so I went to school for criminal justice and for sociology. Neither of those has anything to do with history, but that's what I found myself doing as a second career. The cemetery is known as Southern Hills Cemetery, historically known as 6th Street Cemetery. The cemetery was established in 1826 by a man named John W. Slack. When I found out about Southern Hills Cemetery, I was seeking information on some family members that was buried there. When I first sought to find the cemetery, I couldn't locate it. When I first laid eyes on the cemetery, really a sadness came over me because I wanted to know how an entire cemetery could be lost in the woods for so long and nobody was looking for it. Right now we have a count of 826 persons that we have records for being buried in 6th Street. I consider that cemetery a sacred space. It has gone through a lot of transition over the years. We have had a lot of desecration that has happened over the years at the cemetery. We have tried to restore as much as possible, clear as much as possible, and to maintain the level of dignity that the people that are buried there deserve. In 1972, there was construction of an apartment complex there, and for as much as history shows a cemetery there was always surveys present to let them know that there was a cemetery there. There were headstones there, but those construction workers still damaged that property. I absolutely think that it was deliberate and with malice for them to build that apartment complex and bulldoze those headstones into one central hole so that they could have as much of the property as they could to build those apartments. Since 2013, we have really tried to make our presence known here in Gadsden by putting out information that was relevant to everyone in the African American community. We also wanted to make sure that we documented a lot of the history from the people that are still living, that lived that history. The city of Gadsden was nice enough to offer us a space to operate from. I initially operated out of my home. We collected a lot of photos and a lot of artifacts for people that lived here in Gadsden. Really gotten some of the collections from individuals, such as Jack Lowe Sr. We were able to collect a lot of the things that he collected over his lifetime. He lived to be 104 years old. I get discouraged quite a bit. You can say all day long that you don't listen to the chatter in the background, but you want to try to please everyone, and that's impossible.
This evening in Gadsden, a historic marker will go up noting one of the most painful parts of American history, a lynching. In 1906, a white mob in Gadsden took a black man named Bunk Richardson from the Etowah County Jail and lynched him from a bridge over the Coosa River. He had been arrested, along with 3 others, for the rape and murder of a white woman. Richardson was not part of the crime and was never charged, but he knew one of the suspects.
In my church, they said Jesus said the first shall be last and the last shall be first. In 1906, Bunk Richardson was the last. He was told by people that he doesn't even deserve to live, even though he had done nothing. But tonight, he is the first.
One of our, most famous or infamous burials at 6th Street Cemetery is a man by the name of Bunk Richardson. I had heard about where he was buried, but there was no headstone on his grave because they did not want his grave to be destroyed by whites. I found out that the police sent for his wife and asked her to come and to claim him. And she told them that they hung him, they should bury him. She left town to never return. The Equal Justice Initiative Project came to Gadsden and talked to us about his being buried in 6th Street Cemetery and how relevant it was to a project that they was working on called the Memorial Lynching Project.
I'm proud to be in Gadsden tonight. I'm proud to be with people here tonight. I'm hopeful about what we can do tonight. And I want to celebrate each and every one of you for all the acts you have made to create this moment of recognition, of transformation, of reconciliation, and hopefulness. I wish you all the best in your continuing work. God bless you all.
My work with Grace Heritage is important to leave a legacy for my daughter. She doesn't know a lot of the history of this town. I have found that a lot of kids do national history projects, such as Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks. But we have some local Black history that they need to know about as well. I'm doing a thing that most people wouldn't dream of doing, and trying to collect as much of the history of Gadsden and preserve it for future generations.